love little girls, they make me feel so good.
Yes, that's right, I'm implying that Ivern is a bit of a child predator looking motherfucker today. Somewhere between a treant from World of Warcraft and Slenderman, with some sprinklings of Waluigi and a tiny dash of Pedo Bear, Riot Games has mashed together all of these pieces and created a Frankenstein's monster the likes of which the world has never seen. And that was Ivern, probably one of the strangest junglers that has ever come to League of Legends, both in abilities and the build path that this character takes. So what exactly makes him strange? What exactly makes him cancer? Well, aside from the fact that he occasionally likes to shave his entire body of hair and masquerade as Wario's brother in various Nintendo games, his jungle clear is something that League of Legends has never really experienced before. He's an incredible counter jungler that was quite literally engineered and built to annoy the ever-loving shit out of the enemy jungler by any means necessary, as well as being what is essentially a second support for your team, building items to help his team tower dive and sustain in team fights, while he just kind of floats around in the background. He's too tanky to focus, but too essential to his team to ignore. He's the king of cock block in the jungle as well, and he gives you that feeling, you know that feeling, the feeling that's worse than when you use Lee Sin's ultimate to try and kill an enemy, and you accidentally kick them over a wall with 10 HP left, and your team has no gap closers to get over it, and he fucking gets away. Yeah. That feeling. Ivern will constantly cock tease you with kills on his entire team, whilst keeping it all just out of reach the entire time, as you desperately try to fight past bushes, snares, and fucking rock giants. So let's run down the list. Let's see what we got here of Ivern's spells. Friend of the Forest is Ivern's passive, and it makes his jungling unique in that he is entirely unable to attack or damage the jungle camps. Instead of that, when you target one, you channel for a few seconds and you create a golden ring that begins to fill, which costs a shitload of HP and a decent amount of mana. Now when this ring fills up, you can free the monsters. Yes, yeah, free them. Definitely not murdering these poor innocent guys who are just trying to chill the fuck out in the forest. Yep, their lives are just way too hard, right? Yeah, look at them. They're so stressed. You just gotta free them, Ivern. Fucking psychopath. Anyway, you free them instantly, granting yourself full golden experience. Now, it sounds like it would take fucking forever to clear, given that you have to wait up to 40 seconds at level 1 for the growth to mature, but smiting a camp will instantly fill the ring. It will free the monster in that moment, meaning that you can slip in and out of the enemy jungle to grab whatever you want, without having to overstay your welcome or end up in 2v1 situations with a fucking Xin Zhao and a red buff, just trying to slink the fuck out of there. And it's great for a quick clear, but it also makes it a little bit risky to be juggling multiple camps at the same time, because if you have 3 camps up at the same time, all maturing to be freed, you're probably going to be running around on about 4 HP waiting to get some gold, and a fucking Janna could sneeze in the jungle's direction and you'll get killed by the air pressure. Now the good thing about this is that you can prepare a couple of camps ahead of time, so you can just set some up, you've got low HP, just go back, and then by the time you come out you can just free them again. And it actually kind of is a little bit time efficient, but for fuck's sake, by God, does it make enemy jungle's life hell if they don't know how to deal with this, which, I mean, I'm not the best player in the world. I fucking can't deal with this. I don't know how the hell to get an Ivern out of my jungle, apart from just fucking 3-manning him. But even beyond that, his roots and shit are just so fucking impossible to dodge. I just can't. It's bizarre as fuck to play the first time you actually play Ivern, but it's actually, I guess, a very interesting mechanic, which is unusual for Riot. And it really is genuinely satisfying to slip in and out of the enemy jungler's asshole without even knowing that his jungle had been penetrated to begin with. Now the second part of this passive is that, starting at around level 5, killing red or blue buff will not only give Ivern a buff, but it leaves a second buff on the ground for any allies to pick up, meaning that no longer will you have to argue with your mid laner about who gets blue buff, because everyone can.
Blue buff, blue buff, blue buff.
Although, that has genuinely not stopped me from getting flamed before for taking blue all game as Ivern, when I'm screaming at my fucking mid laner that the buff is still there, just come take it, dude. It's right there. But no, he's too busy calling me a shitlord. He's too busy calling me a fucking noob for taking all the buffs, and it's fucking right there, man. It's fucking right there, dude. Just take the fucking buff. Just use your fucking Sorry. I think we should move straight along. Onto Ivern's Q. It's a straight line skill shot. Woo! You flang it out, it flangs onto enemies. If the flang hits, they get rooted and it deals some magic damage. Now, if your allies click on the enemy rooted by your Q, this is where things start to get a little bit complicated. they can dash towards that target, which is both a very good thing and a very horrible thing to give your teammates the option to do. Now, on one hand, you hit a Q on an enemy and you're out of range, and maybe your top laner wants to go in. You've just given him that opportunity. Your top laner, your Renekton, can now fly onto the enemy, and then he can slice and dice through. He's suddenly on the enemy team, and it's perfect. You've given him the perfect way of engaging into a fight onto maybe like a squishy target or something. Or you're trying to close distance on a team, and you know you're opening up options here. It's all good things. However, what I can also do is have your very low HP teammates who are trying to run away slowly turn and fling themselves towards the enemy because they cannot resist clicking on something shiny on the screen, leading to their inevitable death. Now think of Root Collar. Think of Ivern's spell, his Q, as the exact opposite of a Thresh Lantern. Instead of nobody clicking on the lantern, even when they need it, everyone will click on this spell when they don't need it. And it will actively get them killed if you're a fucking idiot. And you can probably guess who they're gonna blame for that death, right? You can guess. Now, Brushmaker makes brushes. That's pretty much what it does. You make bushes on a really long cooldown that grants vision for you for a few seconds. As well as that, you obviously deny some vision for the enemy as well. Now, you slap this down in a team fight, and both teams are going to hate your guts. Now, if Ivern is standing inside a bush as well, the passive from this is that he is granted a ranged attack, which does a little bit extra magic damage. So it kind of does help to put down a bush if you're looking to siege towers with a little bit less risk. Or maybe you can put down some bushes to make contesting objectives like Dragon and Baron a little bit more difficult because of the enemy's lack of vision. However, it is a pain in the cock to use, so be very, very careful with it, because it is one of these spells that is double-edged. It can go either way depending on how you use it, and by God, if you put down a bush that cock blocks on your team, they will let you know that is what you have done. Now, Trigger Seed is Ivern's E, and it's a point-and-click shield that grants some decent damage mitigation before exploding after 2 seconds, dealing a fairly decent amount of damage and slowing them as well. Think of it as Janna's E. It's really simple. You point and click, except it fucking explodes at the end. You slap this on anybody who is interested in engaging on the enemy team for a decent amount of damage. You slap this onto your carries who are trying to run the hell away. You save their asses, grabbing Athene's Unholy Grail to make you actually fucking heal your team. And this spell, along with the Redemption and the Locket of the Iron Solari that you have no doubt bought, will make you a healing, shielding machine. There is so much that you can do as Ivern to prevent damage in team fights. It doesn't matter how dribbly your teammates are. You could have a team of championship dribblers from the finest dribbling university in America, but with this amount of shielding, with this amount of healing, even the biggest team of fucking idiots has the potential to just sheer brute force the enemy down with an Ivern, just rolling their dribbly faces all over the fucking keyboard. This is a spell that you will be spamming above all other spells, because it is so easy to use, and you can really just, it's difficult to fuck it up, because even once you get the Athene's Unholy Grail, you'll just be healing people as well. So use it. Always. Never stop using it. Always. All game. 50 games. 50 games Trigger Seed. Always use it. www.triggerseedusealwaysuseit.com. Stole this reference from Rick and Morty. 100 years. Trigger Seed. Always use Trigger Seed. Trigger Seed your teammates. Trigger Seed everyone. Trigger Seed yourself. Trigger Seed daisy.com/triggerseed. Now finally, we have Ivern's Ultimate Daisy. Now, reusing a texture from the old blue buff, Ivern calls out the old blue golem who's now a chick and is now called Daisy and is oddly attractive to fight for him. She remains for a minute and is similar to Tibbers in that you can control her. You can tell her who to attack, you can move her around, and after 2 auto attacks onto a single enemy, she knocks them up in a line with increased attack range, making lots of wombo combo potential for Ivern's team. She also is able to dash onto targets that Ivern has rooted, and she's also pretty fucking fast. Not to mention, if you're in a team fight, this is not a character that you will tend to focus. You're not really gonna look at a fucking golem with 4,000 HP and think that that's the thing that you want to bring down first, meaning that Daisy will dive into fights and just constantly knock people up and actually do pretty decent damage, with her AD also scaling with your AP. It's a spell that you don't even realize does damage until you've already been killed by it. It's disruptive, it complements your AoE healing, and it complements your AoE shielding. and she's thick as fuck, but it's cancer. Overall, Ivern is he's an interesting character. Not a good idea to play if you're in lower elo, because even the dribbliest of teams, you tend not to do really any fucking damage as Ivern. It's mostly about helping your team do damage and using your team as pawns in your game. But if you like playing support and you think I might want to learn a different role, play Ivern, I guess. I hope you lose though, because Ivern is fucking cancer. He gets a ban from me. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, guys, that was another episode of Why I Hate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not sure who to do for the next one, so please, Christ, please let me know. God, who you want next. This one might be a little bit less highly edited from the previous ones, purely because I was away at an event all weekend, which is what I would generally use to like help get ahead in videos. I was at Comic-Con the last weekend that you might have saw in my last video, or no, 2 videos ago. Yeah, my one of my other Why I Hates. And yeah, I had a good time. I'm back, not fucking up my schedule, hopefully. But yeah, comment down below who you want. We'll get sorted. I'll work on it over the weekend, and we'll get it going. Don't forget to watch all my other videos from this week as well. The fall before Brom, as well as the news of legends that I know you guys love so much. I actually had a person in real life compliment me on the news show this weekend, and I was like, oh my god, someone actually likes this show. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. Take it easy. Have a good one. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.